since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump confirmed authorizing CIA operations in Venezuela, citing illegal immigration and drug trafficking.
Many countries have done it, but not like Venezuela. They were down and dirty. And the other thing are drugs. We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela.
The move follows deadly U.S. strikes on suspected drug boats and a New York Times report revealing lethal CIA authority inside the country. A federal judge in San Francisco blocked the Trump administration from laying off federal workers during the shutdown, calling the move politically motivated. The White House plans to appeal after warning over 10,000 jobs could be cut. And philanthropist and ex-wife of Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, Mackenzie Scott, has donated $63 million to Morgan State University, bringing her total gifts to the HBCU to $103 million. Officials say the funds will boost student success and research. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK. New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK 1230 AM. I am Will Sutton, and sitting right here with me, all in for today, Thursday, made it beyond hump day, Friday Eve, is Chief Eddie Compass. Good morning, Chief.
Good morning, New Orleans. We're very, very happy to be here today.
All right, it's 7:03. If you got somewhere to be at 7:15, you might be in good shape if you got all your stuff together and you got your favorite morning adult beverage and about to head out the door. Got your keys, got your glasses, got your watch, your pocketbook if you have one, side saddle if you have that,
yeah.
Business bag if you have that. But as you all head out to wherever you're going, make sure that you drive safely because it's a school day.
That's right, and we got to watch out for the kids.
Watch out for the kids, folks. Watch out for the kids. Well, we've got a dynamic show ahead for you today. It's Thursday, so we're definitely going to be hearing from Congressman Troy Carter, and so much was going on yesterday. And the congressman was at the Supreme Court yesterday for the big hearing. So we'll hear from him. Probably talking more about the darn government shutdown that is ongoing, and in particular, I mean, how much is this thing costing everybody?
Right.
And I mean, it's just each day that goes by, there's more news about the impact of the shutdown on business, on individual livelihoods. It's causing slowdowns or stoppages to ongoing programs that have been funded totally or in part by the federal government. Things are stopping that might be hard to start. So this is a big deal that this government shutdown is going on for days. We've had government shutdowns for hours or 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. A couple of days, but with it extending like this is more and more people are feeling the impact.
It's something that affects people not just from a work standpoint, but from a quality of life standpoint. When these people are employees and they're not, getting paid, and they're in a situation where they could lose their jobs, lose their livelihoods. It's very serious. And when you think about just the services to us as a country, as individuals that depend on these services on a daily basis, the longer it lasts, the more impactful it's going to be, and hopefully we can come to a resolution in a very short period of time, because it's basically not. I don't see the benefit in the long run, because certain things, like you say, might not be able to be restarted quickly or be in a position to perform at optimal efficiency once we start back.
Yeah. So, but of course, the Republicans have their view, which is, in essence, let's get this done, Democrats. Continue, end the government shutdown, and then let's have more conversations about health care. And the Democrats, in essence, are saying, y'all have shown how bad you are in the months since we've been in session and your man has been in the White House. And doesn't look like we can trust you. We can't trust you to have a conversation later after agreeing to something now. So we need to have that conversation now and make that a part of what we decide to do on opening the government. So there's a standoff, and every day Democrats are attacking Republicans, and Republicans are attacking Democrats, but meanwhile it is affecting people and their livelihoods.
Now look at that as the classical political imbroglio, whereas you have the proverbial bureaucratic quagmire in place where they have different agendas, and basically the compromise is very difficult to achieve. And when you get to the point where it's at a standoff and nothing is taking place, that inaction is an action.
Yeah, it's quite a thing. But our congressman is going to help us with that this morning as he puts that in more context. But meanwhile, things were hot at New Orleans City Council yesterday. So throughout the campaign, Helena Moreno, Oliver Thomas, Royce Duplessis, Frank Janusa, who is a CPA and really knows numbers well, and a number of the other candidates were talking about a budget deficit, city budget deficits. So we were talking about, I think, about $65 million deficit, which would hurt. Yeah. We're talking about, it might be $75 to $80 million, which would hurt more. Right. We heard some numbers being tossed around that actually, it might be $100 million deficit. And at one point, some weeks ago in the campaign, State Senator Royce Duplessis says, based on what I'm hearing, we're probably talking about $140 million deficit. And of course, that would be pretty devastating, right, depending on what they did to patch things up, no matter who became the mayor. Right. Well, yesterday, the new number came out from the legislative auditor, the state legislative auditor. And the new number that this city council and mayor will work from, and that the new mayor-elect will have to work with, is $160 million deficit. Wow. $160 million deficit for a city our size, with that much of a deficit. And it seems that all the different parties who are responsible for running the city, legislative, executive, and otherwise, it seems like everybody's coalescing around the number. But that's not going to be the painful part. The painful part is going to be what they're going to do about $160 million budget hole. This is far bigger than any of the previous estimates that have been discussed publicly that I've heard or read. The state legislative auditor went through the books over the last several weeks and examined some of everything including the previous projections, and some of the things that are impacting this are overtime costs, and certainly the New Year's
Right.
Day terrorist attack in the French Quarter was a huge overtime issue, and not just on that day, because of the things you have to do to put the,
Right.
precautions in when something of that magnitude happens, and with not enough officers,
Right.
you don't want to take people from 3/4 of the city and put them all down at Bourbon and Canal and in the French Quarter to ramp things up. So you got to, balance and, keep the city covered. So, overtime is an ongoing issue anyway, and not just for the police department, because we have contracted out a number of services. And so the city employees that do have the jobs to do things like streets and potholes and lights and fire and police and so many other things, safety and permit. If there's a need to get a job done, you're going to pay them overtime. It would be unfair to say, just get it done. We'll make up with you later. You need to pay it overtime. So overtime is an ongoing issue. I mean, just in the police department, you don't need a terrorist attack to know that you're going to have some overtime.
Well, when you look at it, overtime is an unsustainable resource to predicate a budget upon. But unfortunately, in police work, there are many things that transpire that you cannot basically budget for because they happen instantaneously. Another thing that I don't think the public is aware of, when officers go to court in their off-duty time, they have to be paid overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you go to court, you have no idea how long you're going to be in court for. You don't know the magnitude of the case. You don't know what level the case is going to get to. And so a lot of money that is incumbent upon the police department to pay, you can't budget for it as to the penny. You can estimate, but certain things happen within a city and within an organization that you have to adjust to. When I was a district commander, I had like a small police department. Every district commander, 8 district commanders, basically the department is divided into 8 districts and SOD. So 9 people. Nine people are responsible basically for the bulk of the budget. We were told by our deputy chiefs and by our chiefs that you have to budget your overtime projections in place. But a lot of time, if you had like a hostage situation, or if you had an active shooter situation, or if you had a situation where you made an inordinate amount of arrests or a big drug bust and the officers were going back and forth to court, you can't really budget for that. You can guesstimate, you can estimate, but you can't. And I think this is happening on a large scale within the police department because of some of the things that happen. It's no fault of the police department. It's just the cost of doing business. So that's
they got to do the jobs that they are assigned to do. There are some jobs that I think it goes into a pool, and there are a number of jobs. Do you want one of these jobs? I think that's something a little bit more flexible. Is that right?
Well, that's details.
That's details.
That
right.
doesn't have anything to do with the actual budget because
Yeah,
a private entity pays for the
right,
details.
right.
That's different.
Yeah. So I'm trying to make sure I understand,
Right.
so our listeners understand. If we see a police officer at their favorite grocery store,
Right.
that's not overtime.
That's not overtime. No.
Okay, or if they're working
the Superdome.
if they're working at the Superdome,
Right.
then
That's a detail also. Yes, that comes with another revenue source. Matter of
Right.
fact, the city actually makes money off of that because they have to pay the city a service fee because the actual checks don't go directly to the officer. They go into their regular check. So it's basically a situation where that does not impact the budget in a way that the regular police overtime does. I would say if they have a big drug sting and they have to process the evidence, and they thought that they were going to find 2 or 3 bad guys in the house, and it's 15 bad guys in the house. So that process is going to be exacerbated because you have to process 15 different people. If there's more drugs than you actually were looking for that's in there, which you get them off the street, that has to be processed, and you have to follow a chain of custody because you don't want the evidence thrown out in court because it's called fruit of the poisonous tree. If you get a weapon, or if you get evidence towards a crime and you don't attain it in a way that is within the constitutionality of the basically the Bill of Rights and the rights of the individual, like your 4th Amendment right, 5th Amendment right, those type of rights, it's thrown out. It's like it's never happened. So that's why you have to be very careful and meticulous when you're doing your processing these scenes. And all those things take a lot of time, especially murder investigations. You know, when you have a murder investigation, you don't know where it's going to take you at. Then you have to canvass the area. You don't know how many people you're going to have to talk to. So when you look at all these different things, and the police department are trained professionals, and we have we have the best trained police department in the United States because of the federal consent decree. That's why people are always poaching our people. And they are very meticulous. They are very exact in when they're investigating these cases. And unfortunately, you have to pay for that, because the officers can't work for free.
Right. Well, we're give you some more numbers to put this in context. Don't want to overload you, take you down too much into the weeds, but I think it's important to at least hear some of these numbers, even if you don't memorize these things. The 2025 adopted general fund was $878 million, and the total budgeted spending was $1.78 billion. Now, the spending gap is in part a matter of having reserve funds that you can only tap into for very specific reasons, and that's by way of the city charter.
Right.
So it doesn't matter that a new mayor is coming in and, I want to tap this reserve fund. You cannot do it.
Right.
I mean, the voters would have to say, we okay it, and that is not something that's going to happen in the next few weeks. So the city now has a fund balance or a reserve fund of $46 million. And that's, you can consider that a rainy day fund or something, but that's like your go-to in emergency situations, but only very specific situations. Well, that's 5% of operating expenses. 5%.
That's a big number.
That's not enough. And we have benefited, like so many other municipalities, counties, and parishes across this nation, from the horrible thing that was the pandemic. But the federal government loosened up money, made money to help us and others get through the pandemic. And so that made us more flush than normal. But now that money isn't coming. That's been tapped. That's been used. And I went to Mayor-elect Marino's news availability yesterday afternoon. And she announced her new transition team co-chairs. And we'll talk about that later, I hope. But, one of the things she was talking about was the budget after talking about the transition, because it has an impact on how do you transition?
Right.
Here are the plans, here are the changes we want to make, but where's the money? And she said, and in essence, this is not a quote, that means I'm left with $8 million to run this city.
Wow.
$8 million to run the city, and you know that before you start on January 12th. Woo! Now, we've had mayors who have gone into office with budget deficits looming. But $8 million
never
to run a city like New Orleans? Oh, boy. This is a big, big deal, folks. And so now we're looking at the revenue estimates, and they meet, I believe it's quarterly across the year, to say, here's where we stand, here's what we see with the expenditures and the income from taxes and fees and so forth, just to make it simple. And now it looks like those estimates were not a little off. Yeah. It looks like they were like really off. So you don't wait until August or September to say, here's the impact of the terrorist attack in January, on January 1.
Right.
You should know that along the way, and then factor in some of the other things, including, let's not forget, that big, huge, successful, I'm going to put that in air quotes right now, successful Super Bowl experience. What a wonderful, incredible thing that we had, that we were able to host yet another Super Bowl, NFL Super Bowl, right here in New Orleans. But it wasn't just a game, and it wasn't just one day. It was a whole week or more of activities and events, and that, too, cost overtime.
Right.
So now I'm sure people will look at that and look at this deficit and say, was it worth it?
Yeah, when you look at it from that perspective, you know, when we were on the police department, we had the CompStat process, where everyone on the police department would sit down and basically do a mini budget hearing. You know, where you're standing at for activity, where you're standing at with your overtime, where you're standing at with your resources, and you know, maybe that's something the city ought to look into, to do it instead of doing it on a quarterly basis, do it on a weekly basis, so then it won't get to the point where it's not past the point of no return, but when it's the point where it's a very difficult situation. So, I mean, that's just a suggestion, because I know it worked on the police department of utilizing the resources to optimal efficiency. And when you're doing it on a weekly basis, even though it's difficult sometimes to get everybody together, but you get used to it, and then you prepare for it. So every person on that police department is very understanding about the budget. You know, a lot of time the budget is allocated when it relates to the average person, the average police officer. But when you're meeting on a weekly basis and everybody's held accountable at a district level and even at a platoon level, it's very efficient.
Well, that's the new number, folks, $160 million. But let me give you a warning. Now that we got a $160 million number that everybody seems to be agreeing on, the work is not over. Helena Moreno said yesterday she's asking the legislative auditor to provide the transition team with some assistance and financial guidance. I wouldn't be surprised if that $160 million updated number starts zooming up to 165, 175. Wow. What if it gets to $200 million? I'm not saying it is, but when we come from a point where the number was $65 million deficit, right, and we get to 160, that's huge. All right, we're going to have to go to break. You're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Thursday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. The countdown is on until Mayor-elect Helena Moreno takes office, and right now she's mapping out her first steps. Wednesday, Moreno announced former Congressman Cedric Richmond, former Judge Desiree Charbonnet, Ochsner executive Emily Arata, and businessman Ryan Berger will help her turn campaign promises into reality. The transition team will help recruit department heads and community members for issue-based communities focusing on infrastructure, economic development, and crime prevention. The New Orleans City Council will vote on a proposed ordinance involving reality television. It will ban the city from going into agreements supporting reality-based TV productions involving first responders while on duty. The council is also set to vote on an ordinance that would change the parade lineup for the Thursday before Mardi Gras. It would have the Knights of Chaos rolling at 4:30 p.m., followed by Babylon at 5:30 and Muses at 6. Budget hearings continue today at City Hall with several departments on the agenda. Those include public works, sanitation, and property management, among others. Now, this comes after the state auditor revealed yesterday that the city faces a $160 million deficit. The auditor says spending spiraled out of control this year and reserves are now nearly depleted. He says the budget crisis is mostly driven by overtime, especially in police, fire, EMS, and public works. And Derek Groves, the last inmate captured after the Orleans Parish jailbreak, pleads not guilty on charges of simple escape. Groves was arraigned virtually from Angola. He was captured in Atlanta last week after being on the run for 5 months. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. Sharice Clark is a trailblazer in the finance industry. She spent over 2 decades in corporate finance, capital markets, investment banking, and in private equity. Most recently, she founded Harborview, a global investment firm that focuses on entertainment, media, and sports. During a recent conversation on Bloomberg, Clark reflected on her career and noted how she's still in relatively rare company as a woman of color with a long career in finance.
At the end of the day, I've got 25 years on the street, and 45 short years ago, there probably weren't that many women who could sit and say in this room that they've had 25 years of experience in the financial markets, investing, managing billions of dollars of capital to be in a position to do that.
Since Clark founded her firm Harborview, it's acquired over 70 music catalogs and has over $1 billion in investable capital. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Lowe's knows you want to spend less time shopping and more time on the job site. Bulk savings on trusted brands means big savings and more time on the job. Get up to 25% off select drywall when you buy in bulk. Buy more and save to make sure you're prepared for any job. Lowe's, we help, you save. Selection varies by location.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks
and Kimber White Dupree
from the Front Porch.
Some combos are too good to miss. Now you can pull up a chair to the front porch anytime.
Just search WBOK Media and subscribe to the Front Porch Podcast.
Download, share, and hit us with a 5-star rating because New Orleans culture deserves to be heard loud and clear.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It is 7:29 a.m. If you got to be there at 7:30, hope you're turning over
or working from home.
Yeah, buddy. So, but if you're pulling in the parking lot, you're late. You're late. Yeah. You can't say I'm on the property. You late. Oh. You late. Yeah. But we still got kids going to school.
Oh yeah.
So, what do we need to do?
Slow down.
Slow down. 20 miles per hour pops up.
That's it.
Like nothing. All of a sudden, you going 32. You think you driving slow.
Right.
Watch out for those cameras. Click, 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 click.
Because they don't play.
Yep.
And they're expensive.
Yep. Well, I mentioned to you that yesterday was the day that Helena Moreno, Mayor-elect Moreno, announced the start of her transition plans. So she had a news conference yesterday afternoon, mid-afternoon, and she talked about moving forward. And one of the things that is typical for a president-elect, a governor-elect, a mayor-elect with an executive branch of a government is to have a transition team so that you are as prepared as possible. And everybody who is in that position after being a candidate, winning a campaign, and having an inauguration day will say, so I'm ready on day one. Right. All right. Now, we know that this is going to be more than a little bit of a transition with this city deficit of at least $160 million. So she spoke about that. But the website to find out more about the Helena Moreno transition and jobs is newdirectionnola.com. newdirectionnola.com. You can sign up for updates and more. And she announced her co-chairs yesterday as well. So we're going to get to that in a bit, so you know who they are and hear some more about what that's going to look like for our city. We only have one mayor at a time. Our mayor is Mayor Latoya Cantrell. She is the mayor until inauguration time on January 12th. But the mayor-elect has to get in gear and build her team deeper than a campaign team to lead this city come January 12th. All right, I see a caller on the line. We've got a caller on the line. Good morning, Congressman Troy Carter.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you both on this great morning?
Doing great,
we
sir.
are fabulous. God has blessed us with another day. Blessed to be able to roll over, plant my feet on the floor, and get moving
indeed.
for another beautiful day.
A day that we are indeed breathing, fighting, living, and believing that we're going to get through this mess.
Yeah, there is some mess and some tenseness and stress. But, there's so much, and I already know we're not going to have enough time. I know that, Congressman. I know because you got some other things to do. But two big ones, more on the government shutdown, and yesterday a momentous day at the U.S. Supreme Court with Louisiana v. Callis and a critical hearing about the Voting Rights Act and its future now that case is before the U.S. Supreme Court. Do you want to start with government shutdown or the other?
Whatever. Let's knock out the shutdown and end up on the Supreme Court.
All right, let's roll.
So here we are, day 17. Excuse me, day 17. Losing my voice. Day 17 of an unnecessary, reckless shutdown. A shutdown that did not have to happen. A shutdown that has put millions of people at risk across our country. A shutdown that's forcing TSA workers, our air traffic controllers, our military personnel, key functioning members of our federal employee base to go to work every day but not be paid. To have the insult to injury by the OMB director that says that they may out and out lay some people off completely. This is it's crazy. And the last time there was a government shutdown, it was shut down for 34, 35 days, cost American taxpayers $11 billion. $11 billion, we can knock out homelessness. $11 billion we can do. We can save the lives of many people in poverty. You know, it's ridiculous that here we are. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. If they didn't want to shut down, there wouldn't be a shutdown. I'm in Washington, D.C. right now. We've been at the negotiating table waiting for them to join us. We're not going to fold. We're not going to give in. We're going to continue to fight to make sure that health care is affordable to every American. We're going to continue to fight to make sure that their threats to literally rip health care away from the American people is something that we're not going to just let them do, certainly not without a fight. They've got the votes, but we've got a voice. We're going to continue to fight against this effort to allow the ACA tax credits to expire. We know that the ACA tax credits provide an opportunity for people who make just a little too much money to get Medicaid, but don't make nearly enough money to be able to pay for their own health insurance. The ACA tax credits meets in the middle and gives them an opportunity to bridge that gap. They hate it because Obama passed it, plain and simple. Not because it isn't good for the American people, but because they don't want history to reflect that this measure has saved millions of people's lives. It's ridiculous, it's childish, and we are going to continue to fight against it. You know, I have been, since the shutdown, I've been providing free lunch for the TSA workers at the airport every day. A small token of appreciation for the hard work, not nearly enough to make up for a lost paycheck, but they were very grateful and appreciative, and they embraced me and thanked me for thinking of them. You know what we found out yesterday?
What's that?
We got a letter from Homeland Security that said you are no longer allowed to provide free lunches for the workers.
What?
Yes. Can you believe that they said you are no longer allowed to provide free lunches? So you not only want to hurt them with their paycheck, you don't even want them to have the kindness of someone helping them and showing them some favor. Yes, that's right. I'll share the letter with you. It's ridiculous.
When did you start that?
I started last week, the first day of the right after the shutdown, the first day that the check was threatened, and we've been doing it every day. And apparently, it got back to them. I didn't do it with any fanfare. We didn't do any press releases. Didn't do any statements. We just quietly coordinated with TSA, showed up with lunches for 100 employees every day. And then when we're preparing to go back, we get a call from TSA saying, Congressman, I'm sorry, we appreciate all that you're doing, but we were just notified that we're not allowed to accept free lunches from you anymore.
Wow.
What is I'm sorry, Congressman, I'm hung up on this a little bit. What's the reason for can't provide food to someone they don't have? You're not selling them,
right?
They can
not,
choose.
And listen, they're not extravagant lunches. This is not filet mignon, man. This is
some sandwich and chips.
It's sandwiches, a chip, and a Coke. It's a hot plate with red beans and rice and a piece of baked chicken. So it's like, what are you saying, man? It's just mean and cruel. They want to cripple and tear us down. What possible reason could you have for not allowing them to enjoy a good gesture at a time when they need it most, other than it's just evil?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, on another note, Congressman,
I'm going to share more with you. We're releasing a statement on it today, so you get the scoop as often you do. Wow. You guys get the scoop. It'll be official. I'm going to officially shame them in the press for being once again just childish and reckless in their effort to hurt people who are waking up every morning, kissing their significant other goodbye, putting their kids off to school, and going to a job that isn't going to pay them.
Wow.
Well, Congressman, I'm kind of concerned about the CDC employees because basically that's our front line against the pandemic. What is the disposition with these individuals? 'Cause I know they laid 1,300 of them off. Have any of them come back, and if so, how many?
No, they haven't come back, but we had just read this morning that in San Francisco, where the court ruled that they could not lay off these employees as a part of the government shutdown. So we have, looks like, and I've got to dig deeper into it, looks like we have, once again, as you often hear me talk about the Congress, the courts, and the community, it appears that we have yet another successful round in court that we blocked administration from laying these individuals off instead of furloughing them. So that's a victory. We'll have to see what happens. Undoubtedly, they'll appeal, and we'll go from there. So CDC employees would be a part of that as well.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Wow. Well, the impact on federal workers is huge. I mean, some people have either just recently received a paycheck, or I think it's coming this week, and that might be their last paycheck for
No.
time.
Their last paycheck was on the 1st.
And that's it.
Yes, because in order to have them not be impacted, we had to reopen the government by the 15th, 2 days ago.
Ooh, wow.
Because that's the second cycle. So now people will, in fact, experience a missed check. And that's a travesty because, we stayed in Washington, as you recall. I reported to you guys every single day from the steps of the Capitol, from the halls of justice, to demonstrate that we're here. As you know, I'm in Washington right now. We came back with hopes that, they would. Monday, of course, was a federal holiday. So Tuesday, we were back on the ground and saying, listen, guys, here we are. And again, no show. We're here today. Again, no show. And they've indicated they're not going to be here tomorrow, Friday, and we don't know what's going to happen next week. But we're going to keep coming back to the nation's capital and demonstrating that we're willing to do whatever it takes to open this government. And if Democrats were in control, if we had the votes, there'd be no government shutdown. They own this government shutdown, and they have to be a part of reopening this government shutdown.
Wow. Well, I want to remind people, and you can do it better than I can, that federal workers are not only based in Washington, D.C., or what folks in that area finally call the DMV, with the district in Maryland and Virginia, but they're federal workers across this nation, including Louisiana. I think the number is somewhere around 30 or 40,000 federal workers. Is that right?
That is correct. And listen, and here's the residual. It obviously is painful and it's unconscionable that workers have to show up and not be paid, and the impact that has on their families and their ability to care for their families. But the other issue is the constituents who cannot access resources of government. When they call, we've been told by, when we call to advocate on behalf of a client, you can't reach anybody, which means people who need passports, people who are trying to figure out what's going on with their Social Security check, our many veterans who depend on access to resources that they earned are not there. So the agents and the agencies of federal government are going to impact the millions of Americans who, on a regular basis, need help. And we act as an interface in my office to have case files open to help people. Well, no one's there to answer the phones. So the impact of the workers is great. The impact of the citizens is great. And the actions of this presidency is horrible.
Okay. All right. So there's more to come on that, because when people stop getting checks, My suspicion is no matter who they voted for,
right,
they're going to have some different ideas about the impact.
Well, you see it.
that.
You see it happening already. Well, when you see people that voted for Trump, who didn't realize when Elon Musk's chainsaw, they thought it would hit somebody else, and now it's hitting them in the way of their loss of access to Medicaid. Our farmers who have horrific tariffs and they can't sell their soybeans. These people that supported Trump are now realizing, they're having what we refer to as voter remorse. They realize they made a bad choice. They voted for a guy that didn't care about them either, and now they're feeling the pinch. And those federal employees are just the same way. Many of which who voted for him are realizing, we made a horrible mistake for our country.
All right, we got a caller. Reverend Calhoun, good morning. You're on the line with Congressman Troy Carter.
Good morning to all.
Morning, sir.
Congressman, how soon do you think it's going to impact this layoffs for state employees? The reduction that's coming, I already understand that we did not receive the money that I know you brought a tremendous amount of money back to New Orleans, or to your district. But my understanding is that part of the deficit for the city was that we didn't receive a whole lot of funding from the Trump administration as we did from the Biden administration. So given that more monies are being cut, when do you think the state is gonna have to start laying off of people because we don't have the money? And is there any way to determine just how much money the city and the state of Louisiana is losing based on the policies of this administration? So I'm just interested in what's really going on in terms of our reliance on federal money that ain't coming. I'm gonna hang up and listen.
That's an excellent question, Reverend Calhoun, and I'll tell you that we will be able to tell pretty quickly what those dollars look like, and we will be crunching those numbers in our fiscal offices to be able to demonstrate and show a side-by-side example of what the resources look like under the Biden administration versus the draconian cuts that we are experiencing under the Trump administration. And we'll be able to see directly how this negatively impacts our city and our state. One perfect example of where it's inevitable that you're going to see pain to the state budget, which will ultimately lead to financial hardship for their agencies and may very well end up in massive layoffs, is when Medicaid accounts for a significant portion of the state's budget. When you start taking people off those rolls, it is going to threaten rural hospitals. Many will close. It's going to threaten the resources of every other function of government, because when those dollars fail to show up in the state budget, the ripple effect will undoubtedly impact the ability for the government to function. Because even like your own household, if I took a quarter of your pay away, something's going to go undone. Something's going to go undone. And it's unfortunate, but it's real.
Congressman, there's so much more that we could talk about with all the different layers with the government shutdown. But I know you got a busy day. Can we talk about what happened at the U.S. Supreme Court yesterday?
Yes. As you know, yesterday was the whole world literally was watching as Louisiana v. Calais was argued before the Supreme Court. It was a packed house. I couldn't even get in. Some of our other elected officials and members were, in fact, inside, but I heard every single word of everything that happened. We were there. We were out with the people talking to the hundreds of individuals who came from all over the country to be a part of this historically challenging day, a day that was reminiscent of 1965 when we fought to have the Voting Rights Act. And inside, Janae Nelson, the president of the Legal Defense Fund of the NAACP, did an incredible job of defending our rights. She argued toe-to-toe with Supreme Court justices in a very respectful and diplomatic and factually, intellectually sound way. She was amazing, and we owe a debt of gratitude for her incredible work. It was the usual cast of characters. Ketanji Jackson did an incredible job of defending and asking the right questions about the significance of Justice Ketanji Jackson Brown. We heard from Justice Kavanaugh. We heard from Alito and Thomas, who seemed to strongly suggest that they have no use for the Voting Rights Act, as with Chief Justice Roberts. Sotomayor and Kagan were marvelous in their defense and listening to the arguments of why a VRA abolition or change would be devastating to the hard-fought rights of the American people. We will see what happens. It was a very challenging day. I'm very proud of the defense team who defended the Voting Rights Act, particularly Section 2. If there is a demise of the Voting Rights Act, Section 2, it is not only going to impact Louisiana. While Louisiana, our seats will be most definitely in peril, but maybe up to 30 other seats across the country will be in peril. This is a direct effort to take away minority voices in elective office and United States Congress. But Will, as you and I have spoken, this goes beyond just the Congress.
Right.
This is state legislatures. This is school board districts. This is district court judges. This is everywhere where you have districts that are drawn, it has negative impact. Anywhere where you have districts that are now designed where there's fair representation possible. If Section 2 goes away and race is no longer a factor in how we create opportunities for fair representation, if you accept the premise that in a representative form of government, that everyone has to be represented at the table, under the attack on the Voting Rights Act, they throw that away. And so now we're not guaranteed an opportunity, just an opportunity, because you can't guarantee an outcome of election, but you can guarantee an opportunity. That opportunity is diminished greatly because, and I'll point to this fact, Louisiana, since Reconstruction, has never had an African-American elected to Congress from a white district.
And
one more. Louisiana has never had an elected official, an African-American elected statewide.
And that point
Why?
was made yesterday.
Absolutely. And so when you look at the facts, there is an attempt. And I went all over the country, I went all over the state, trying to convince people the importance of us getting out to vote because of the ills of this evil, well-thought-out plan called Project 2025. An attempt to return the bad old days of Jim Crow, to strip away the rights of individuals, to cripple the middle class, to take away educational opportunities, to make it harder for African Americans to vote, to make it harder for African Americans and minorities to get elected, to make it harder for African Americans and minorities to gain access to equality in the economy. Listen, this is all thought out. This is not happenstance. This is not something that happened overnight. There has been a plan to slow the growth and progress of African Americans for a very long time, and Trump has been the perfect instrument. What we saw yesterday in the Supreme Court was yet another peg in that board of trying to turn the clock back.
Congressman, we have a call. Reverend Wallace, you're on the phone with Congressman Troy Carter.
Good morning, Congressman Carter.
Hey, good morning, brothers. Good seeing you the other night at the banquet.
Yeah, my brother. My prayers are certainly hoping as an advocate of civil rights person, I certainly don't want to see this happen. But can I ask you a question? We seen this coming with Eric Holden, with the case with Eric Holden. But when John Lewis died, we was trying to get some teeth into the voting right thing, and the Democrats had all three branches. Remember that? They had the legislative. They had the
No, that wasn't. We were intact at that time. When President Trump was in, when President Obama was in, when we had all three branches, there was no issue. It was fully intact. This did not happen until after.
Okay, but we trying, as we got the cart before the horse now, and we from Kavanaugh saying what he said yesterday, don't look too much on his behalf that he's interested in going that way we want him to go. But I think the lady, like you said, made a good argument. But it's a very slippery slope we're on right now. And why is not anything done with this lady, Ms. Morrow, that supported the district, and now she's 180 degrees going along, getting rid of it? So why would we not get some understanding with her? Her job is to defend it, right?
You're talking about Attorney General Liz Merrill?
Yeah, Liz Merrill.
Okay.
So why are we not really putting any pressure on her from Louisiana to help?
I made the argument that this legislature, the additional district that was created was drawn up by a Republican legislature. It was passed by a Republican House. It was passed by a Republican Senate. It was signed into law by a Republican governor. It was defended by a Republican Attorney General. It was defended by a Republican Secretary of State. Yet now they want to flip it. Why? Because Trump has asked them to.
Yes.
Very plain and simple. You ask the question, what's different? And you're right. What's different? There isn't anything different other than Trump has said publicly, I need enough votes to maintain control of the representatives.
All right,
and they know they cannot.
Congressman, Chief has a question before you have to go.
Congressman, we know this is not something that's being done capriciously or arbitrarily over garrison. So what can we do as citizens to basically try to stop this and try to help you to fight to keep this from happening?
I think what we have to do is we have to continue to use the voices that you guys so graciously provide to the people of Louisiana with the airwaves. We have to utilize the airwaves rather on the radio or you, Brother Sutton, in print, or with our friends in TV, the bloggers and the podcasters and the influencers, to continue to remind people that the struggle is real. Listen, we saw it happen with Reconstruction. It is not impossible to revisit this. We have to be vigilant. We have to stick together. We have to stop fighting each other and fight the common enemy. We are not the enemy. The enemy wants to take away our rights. We have to fight lawfully, and I underscore lawfully, against this effort to divide us as a people. We have to unite and fight.
Congressman, before you go, this is the first time the WBOK listeners have had a chance to hear from you since the election of a new mayor. We have Mayor-elect Helena Moreno with a convincing win.
And I wish her the absolute best. As you know, she's a dear friend. We've worked closely together in the legislature since she's been on the council. We've always enjoyed a deep, rich friendship. But more important than the friendship, she has demonstrated an ability to coalesce the city. If you look at the victory that she brought, she had a very impressive coalition of leaders and individuals working with her. Listen, kudos to my friend OT and my friend Royce Duplessis, two individuals who served with distinction in our community, who didn't win on election night, but they didn't lose because they continued to provide resources. And people often say, well, why this one or why that one? Listen, elections happen and people make decisions based on a myriad of reasons. But the election's over now. Elena Moreno is going to be our next mayor, and the city has now the responsibility and the time to heal, to now move forward, to build on and continue to strengthen the great city that we love, and to all work together. I congratulate the new mayor with everything that I have. I wish her the very best. I stand ready to be a part of the solutions, continuing to bring resources from the nation's capital to help build a strong and secure city, one that's inclusive of all people with economic opportunities and safety for all. And I hope that our city will be able to quickly move past the undoubtable pain of that elections often bring. And if I might, we talked about, Chief Compers asked, what can we do with all that's going on with Project 2025, with all that's going on with attacks on our voting rights, with all that's going on with people attempting to roll back the clock. Only 40% of the people voted in the election.
Yeah.
Yep.
60% of the people of New Orleans did not vote. You cannot change this paradigm. You cannot make things better if we continue to stay away from the ballot box. Listen, vote for whoever you want, but you gotta vote.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yep. I am happy that we got beyond 40%, but let's to build on what you just said, and I know you got to go and we got to go, but
no,
to build on what you said, that's 40% of the registered voters.
Right.
So that's not
that's
even
right.
everybody, you know.
Because there are people that's not even registered, which is really sad. That can be
That's
registered.
exactly right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, man, Jesse Jackson said it best when he ran for president. You can't hope me in. You got to vote me in. And
That's right.
voteless people is a hopeless people.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday morning, Congressman. We know that you'll be doing your part as this government shutdown continues, and we, and others will be waiting to hear what the U.S. Supreme Court does on Voting Rights Act. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Hey, don't forget to check out the podcast, What Makes America Tick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right. Have a great day.
Have a great day, sir.
You too. Bye-bye now.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter. From real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Every Friday at noon on WBOK.
Love black culture and black business? Come home to Bayou Road for HomeFest 2025. October 17th and 18th on the 2400 and 2500 blocks of Bayou Road. Celebrate the history and legacy of Bayou Road and the soul of New Orleans. HomeFest is a free, family-friendly reunion. Get your body and life together. Get Up and Ride takes you on a spin with free massages and acupuncture, yoga, dance, and cancer screenings. Make art, not war, with action from Eternal Seeds, Xavier Art, KidSmart, and McKenna Museums. Captain Charles sails you into Friday night Rock your Saturday with Tanya Boyd Cannon, DJ Battles and DJ Rockaway, Raj Smooth, DJ Legatron Prime, and DJ Jess. It's all happening Friday, October 17th from 5 to 9 p.m. Saturday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Check out the schedule at homefestnola.com or follow us at homefestnola.
You're invited to step back into New Orleans history for Community Day at the Dewdrop Inn with Tulane University's Special Collections, presented by the Primo Memorial Series. Saturday, October 18th from 12 to 2 p.m. Celebrate the Dewdrop Inn legacy with a live musical show. Enjoy a brunch buffet and explore archival materials. Free admission, but space is limited. For more information, visit library.tulane.edu/Dewdrop Community Day.
Hi, I'm Jessica with Entergy New Orleans, and I'm a customer too. I'm proud to say our rates are 21% below the national average. Every day, our team is focused on keeping costs lower for you. We take affordability personally because this is our home too. We work harder and smarter to fight rising costs, while also improving reliability for years to come. This isn't just my job, it's a commitment to my community. Together, we power life. Entergy.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK. It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
For generations, the federal government has served as a reliable pathway to the middle class for African Americans, a place where hard work, talent, and perseverance could translate into stability, dignity, and opportunity. From postal workers to Pentagon officials, from teachers to Treasury analysts, the federal payroll has long reflected a kind of promise that public service could offer a fair shake to those shut out of corporate America. But that promise feels increasingly under siege in the Trump administration. The New York Times recently noted the troubling absence of Black Americans in high-ranking positions within the Trump administration, a number that has dwindled even further after several firings of senior officials of color. Perhaps the most glaring example came earlier this year when General Charles Q. Brown, Jr., the nation's second black chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, was abruptly dismissed without explanation. General Brown's ouster broke with a long-standing tradition that the chair of the Joint Chiefs remains above politics, serving continuity and country rather than party or president. But this time, politics and culture war rhetoric carried the day. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth reportedly questioned whether General Brown's commitment to diversity and inclusion made him, quote, too woke, end quote, and even whether his success was due to race. Those are deeply wounding racist words, not just to one distinguished airman, but to every black professional who has ever had to prove again and again that their excellence is earned, not gifted. This pattern of marginalization, dismissal, and replacement sends a chilling message that experience and merit are secondary to ideology, and that diversity itself has become a dirty word. It also threatens to unravel decades of progress made by African Americans who looked to the federal government as both employer and equalizer. Quite frankly, it pisses me off that the African American leadership has been mostly out to lunch on this issue. What's it going to take to wake them up on the dismantling of the black professional, middle, and upper class at the federal level? This entire attack on minorities under the so-called anti-DEI movement by the GOP conservative right, while many of our African American leaders are seemingly looking the other way, reminds me of the boiling frog syndrome, an allegory about how people fail to notice a gradual threat. A frog in a boiling pot of water would immediately jump out, but put in cool water that slowly heats up, the frog won't perceive the danger until it's too late. Let's remember, folks, during the civil rights era, when doors to corporate boardrooms remained closed, Washington opened them. Black scientists, lawyers, economists, and diplomats built careers in federal service that became models for generations. Today, that legacy is at risk. When African Americans are shut out of high-ranking federal positions, it's not just a personnel matter. It's a signal about whose voices matter in the making of national policy. And when those voices are silenced, the nation loses not only its fairness, but its collaborative wisdom and cohesion. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Right here on WBOK 1230 AM. We thank you those of you who are listening on AM radio. Yes, it still works. We thank those of you who are on internet, which means you're watching from places like California and Atlanta and elsewhere. Houston, we know, we see you. And we thank those of you who are watching not just locally, but from elsewhere, because we see your comments from across the country, watching on Facebook Live, watching and listening. A point of safety, Chief.
Oh, yes.
Watching on Facebook Live is cool, but not when you're driving.
Especially when you're around the kids.
Yeah, right. So, watch the kids out there. It's 8:13. Most of the kids are in school, but there might be some stragglers. Please watch those school zones and be safe. We're going to be jumping in the conversation with our good folks from Bayou Road. And I'm just going to kick it off like this. If you never heard of Bayou Road, that's a problem. And if you never been to Bayou Road, that's a bigger problem. And if you haven't been to Bayou Road since like 10 years ago or 5 years ago, Bayou Road ain't what it used to be. And you need to get over there, get on that cobblestone street and get out your car and walk around. And this weekend, it's a really good time to visit Bayou Road. We got Tamara Prosper from Shaw Fresh Sustainable Foods, Natalie Thomas from the Caillou Center, Michelle Burton Otis and Melissa Woods Green from Cupcake Fairies. Dangerous place.
Yeah, but I'm scared. I'm scared of that sweetness.
I'm going to tell you something I hate about visiting Bayou Road. I'm driving around Bayou Road because my wife and I, we're over there, somewhat regularly. and the only parking spot is like by your place. Oh man. It's not sweet. It is delicious. All right. Well, welcome everybody. Folks, you're listening to Will Sutton and Chief Eddie Compass, and we're going to have a conversation about Bayou Road generally, but there's a big event coming up this weekend. So before we talk about the big event, let's talk about Bayou Road, because this is a historic street, a historic neighborhood. We know that the word Treme gets lots of attention across the nation, but people need to be saying the words Bayou Road.
Yes, because we're the spine of the city, right? We're that travel point that goes straight through the city, and we're one of the oldest streets in the city. So we're one of the oldest streets in the city, one of the oldest neighborhoods, right? So everything is kind of surrounded around Bayou Road, original trade from the natives and the Africans, the original trades from the natives and the Africans. So it's so full of history and legacy. And we talk about Andre Caillou, the first second line. So it's full of rich history, not just for Black people, but for all New Orleanians.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because I know each of you know better than I do, but New Orleans wasn't what it is today.
No.
And Bayou Road was there.
Bayou Road was the original path for the indigenous people of Bobancha going from the lake to the river. It was the higher ground. It's like where they talk about the Esplanade Ridge. And that was they actually showed the Europeans, this is how you get from the lake to the river. And that was their travel, because they had what we call the French market now was already a market. The French just came and took it over. But they had people coming speaking multiple languages, and those people traveled up and down Bayou Road.
That's right.
Yeah, yep. So these days, so let's fast forward to the last few years. Been going to Bayou Road for some time. There has been some good business growth there, and diverse business growth and community activity.
Yep.
So tell us about that.
So currently we have King and Queen Emporium. We have several eateries, including Ada's, Cocoa Hut, Nano's, and the Cupcake Fairies.
I know.
Right? But we have our staples, the Community Book Center, Andrew Caillou, and then what is so great about us is a business corridor. So just on that block, but if you turn the corner and there's businesses up and down Broad. And we also have Pagoda and Leo's Bread. That's right.
And we have Show Fresh Sustainable Food.
Yeah.
So, and we've been out there since 2011 as a pop-up, really, outside of King and Queen Emporium. So we've been there for over a decade, and we've seen, because we'd be outside and see people come in. So I remember Cupcake Fairies moved into the Pink Building, then they moved down the block. And so since 2011, we've been out there, and now we've got our own brick and mortar, which is just right off of Bayou. Yay! So we're on actually at 1434 North Derjois, so you can see us from where we used to sell. We're right behind Pagoda.
All right, very good, very good. So this weekend we have Home Fest.
Yes.
All right, so I've been to Home Fest. And it's a good time. One of the things I like about Home Fest is you get a dynamic New Orleans festival experience with businesses who are there, whether it's Home Fest weekend or not. You get other folks, vendors who are attracted to Bayou Road because of Home Fest. It draws people to Bayou Road, and then they come back because it's like, I didn't realize all of this is here. There's wonderful musical entertainment. It's a great full day. And now y'all adding another day?
Yeah, well, kind of, yeah,
A half day. You could say a half day.
Well,
we're expanding.
5 p.m. on Friday.
Yes.
Right?
So specifically, that is a ribbon cutting in celebration for the Andrew Caillou Park. So this is a vision, a dream that has come into fruition now. So we're dedicating that park. So that is what Friday's going to be. We're going to have DJ Captain Charles there. So after the dedication, it's going to be a block party. It's going to be a good time because we're here to celebrate, and we're going to do that awesomely. So to lead the celebration, we're going to have the Nola Lolas and the VIP.
Hey.
We're also going to have a taste of Bayou.
Hold the mic closer. Hold the mic closer.
We're also going to have a taste of Bayou Road. So that's
Wait. Let's pause.
Yeah.
What's that
Bring it
gonna
back,
be?
Bring it back. Bring it back at 3 o'clock. We're gonna have like little bites in
Taste
mocktails.
of Bayou
Yes,
Road.
mocktails.
Ooh.
And so that's free and open to the
All
public.
right. So if y'all get off at 4:30, I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe you get a little more work done. A little bit more work done a little earlier, so you can get over there.
Get a taste. We're gonna have line dancing, and it's gonna be a good time to have our own.
Wow.
And it's really special because when you look at Bayou Road, there's this story happening organically of reclamation and remembrance. And so on Friday, you have this moment where you can look at the park and you can look down and you can see all the businesses kind of bookended by this legacy of Captain Andre Caillou, which is just a moment. It's like a light beam moment to the world. But like we here, New Orleans is here, we're not going anywhere, and the people who made New Orleans what it is are not going anywhere either.
Yes.
And so come on down.
Well, so for the folks who haven't been to Bayou Road and they see this gorgeous building, but they haven't been inside, they don't know what it is, they don't know what it used to be. Tell them about that.
So the Andre Caillou Center for Performance Art Cultural Justice, it used to be the former St. Rose de Lima Church. It was founded in 1914. It was a parish. It was a place where people also did a lot of charity work, and it was a parish up until Katrina. Unfortunately, the parishioners came there. They had their last meeting. They were supposed to come back, and then Katrina happened. And so they restored this church. And now we have that church dedicated in honor of Captain Caillou. And when you go in that building, you see the original stained glass. There is a 110-seat theater in there. We have the sanctuary bar and the lobby and a cabaret. And so it's also a venue space for the community. It's also a space where the community can put on their own performances. And so that's kind of what we do at the Andre Caillou Center. And so it's just a moment to enjoy the living greenery at the park and the legacy and reflect on what it means to be on Bayou Road in the company of people who are doing great work.
We're hearing from our Facebook people. Okay.
It's early, y'all. But it's just amazing to be on this road with folks who have been pioneering access to food, who have been showing, like, listen, you could be awesome, you could bake, you could do what you need to do, you can be your own person, you don't have to shrink in your culture and your legacy. So we have a virtual reality immersive tour, that's not true, an augmented reality virtual tour that honors him, and as part of Home Fest, we have an amazing farmers market. And so in this political climate, in this political climate, the people that are going to be affected the most are Black farmers and Black folks who need access to fresh food. And so that is one of the programming that we do as part of our cultural justice mission and reclamation mission at the Andre Caillou Center. And we're just so thankful to be in partnership with these folks. Like, they bring so much wisdom to the table.
Yeah, so will Farmers Market be available on Saturday or Friday and Saturday?
It will be available Saturday, and then we have 2 additional farmers markets for this year to close out our inaugural season. And so it will be November 8th and then also on December 13th.
Right. And also,
tell us about sustainable foods, and because you've been there for quite a while now.
Yes.
Now you're in the building.
Yes. In the building.
That's good. So, what's your role? What void are you trying to fill with what you all do? Because it's sustainable food. It's not the neighborhood convenience store.
No, it's not in plastic and out of a box or anything like that. So we started really growing food in our backyard. And that was the first food that we sold. We had a big backyard. We sold a lot of food. And our friend who owns King and Queen Emporium invited us to sell outside of her store.
Had you thought about that before?
We were selling near our kids' school, and our friend was like, "How dare you sell somewhere else when I have this whole thing here on Bayou Road? You better come from uptown." And so we did. And she really encouraged us as a business owner to go ahead and turn that into a business, which we did. So we have really been, our purpose is really, this was post-Katrina. And New Orleans was already experiencing food apartheid. Even though we're famous for our food, people in communities don't have easy access to fresh, healthy food. And so that was really my husband's heart, to get fresh produce into communities where we need it. Why? Who has the most diabetes issues? Who has high blood pressure? Who's dealing with cardiovascular issues and these illnesses that come mainly from what we eat? And so, but if you don't have a car, or you have trouble getting around to different places, and there's no, all you can get is canned goods with a lot of salt in it, that's a problem. And so we existed really only one day a week on Saturdays, and we have worked and worked and worked to get to be providing more access more days a week. We were in Propeller before it was called Propeller. It was Social Entrepreneurs of New Orleans. And so that's really what we're there for. So we're partnering with the farmers market, but we're also, that's, I think, once a month it's going to be, but we're open 4 days a week. So when you can't get to the farmers market, you can come to Show Fresh Wednesday through Saturday, and we have fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, tea, fresh juice. My husband makes the juice, and people love it. And then we've got some frozen produce as well. Yes, with fresh produce. And we've got, you can come get frozen okra, beans. He likes the Crowder peas and lima beans and all that. So we've got those kinds of things there because we want that in our community. That's what we need to be eating, not salty canned stuff and all that kind of stuff all the time. And then you can balance, because you go get your good cupcakes, but you need to come get some fresh fruit and vegetables.
Right, absolutely.
Yes.
I just wanted to reiterate what you said. I'm a personal trainer, and I tell my people I cannot outwork a bad diet. And I can attest to what you're doing is the number one thing to keep yourself at optimal efficiency for longevity and just for good health. Like I said, I'm 67 years old because I eat your food.
Good.
All right, we're going to have to wrap up and go to break. I know you all got some things to do, including tending to business and preparing for Home Fest. So before we go, let's make sure that people know about what's happening on Friday and what's happening on Saturday and how they can be in touch with you.
Awesome. So Friday is our celebration of the park, and this production is put on by the Broad Community Connection, the Bayou Road Association, and Black Bayou. But it's also funded by the Millen Foundation, Tech Plug, Healthy Blue, Home Bank, and the Historic New Orleans Collection. And also, we want to thank you all, WBOK, for partnering with us as well. So on Friday, yes, we have the celebration of the park.
What
and
time?
That time is 5 to 9 of the Andre Caillou Park, and we will have DJ Captain Charles, the NOLA Lolas. And then on Saturday, we will have our festival, which starts at 10 o'clock, and it ends at 5. It's a full day of fun. And the headliner is Tanya Boy and Cannon. We have some special DJs and some community, and we also have the NOLA Slingshots. So you can take pictures by the slingshots and have just family clean fun.
Yeah, and then Community Book Center has several activations with book signings, workshops. So we're doing a live cooking demonstration at 2. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And Nando's has Rochelle in the evening.
And there are community groups too. So there are people out, like I work for Cooperation New Orleans, and we'll be out there just providing information for community services and things.
Right, wonderful. So how can people find out more if before tomorrow afternoon and before Saturday? How can people find out more?
Please visit homefestnola.com. That's HOMEFESTNOLA.com.
Yeah.
And Homefest NOLA on Instagram.
Literally.
I'm going to ask you one more question, and don't be offended, please.
You could never offend me.
If people have like really busy days, they're just hearing about Home Fest. It's like, oh, I didn't know that happening, but I only have 2 hours. When should they go?
On the 18th?
Or on Saturday? When
On
should they go?
Saturday? I would say if you only have 2 hours.
Well, Tanya Boy comes on at 4.
At 4.
So I would say if you have 2 hours, you come from 3
to 5.
Yeah,
3
to
to 5.
5.
Okay.
3 to 5.
You'll catch everything. You'll catch the
Because I know
farmers
people
market.
have plans, and, So we're putting another good thing on the plate.
Yeah.
All right. And you'll be able to listen live on WBOK.
Yeah, listen to
WBOK will be on the scene on Saturday.
That's
on Saturday for the Home Fest. So those of you, what you can do while you're moving around, doing your chores, running your errands, going to the bank, you can listen to WBOK, get hyped, and then get on out there.
That's right. Come on down.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're looking forward to Home Fest and the park ribbon cutting on Friday. That is good. I'm happy to hear about
10 years in the making.
That is great. Well, thank you again. Welcome to the Good Morning Show. Thank you for visiting us. And, folks, the talk line is 504-582-9422. Coming up after the break, we're going to have our good friends from Southern University of New Orleans. We're going to hear from Wanda Crawford, alumni president, and we're going to hear from Miss Sunu. And we got a big surprise for you. So, tune in, stay tuned. WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
This news report is brought to you by New Schools for New Orleans. New Schools for New Orleans is excited to announce that our Katrina 20 exhibit, After the Storm, 20 Years of Change and Progress in New Orleans Public Education, is now open to the public. You can experience this powerful look at how our schools have transformed since Katrina at the New Orleans Public School Library's main branch, 219 Loyola Avenue, during regular business hours, now through December. Bring your friends, family members, students, and colleagues. Looking for a group visit for your school or organization? Email us at info@nsno.org.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. LAPD are currently urging more victims to come forward after USC grad student Si-Hye Wang was charged with drugging and raping 3 women.
Evidence was recovered at Wang's residence that corroborated his involvement in drug-facilitated sexual assaults of multiple victims, dating back to 2021 and continuing into 2025.
The 30-year-old Chinese national faces 8 felonies and is being held without bail. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Black House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries may face off in a debate on C-SPAN's new show, Ceasefire. Jeffries accepted the challenge, saying he looks forward to discussing key issues with opposing viewpoints. And LAPD has seized surveillance footage from singer David's Hollywood Hills rental home, hoping to learn if Celeste Rivas Hernandez was there before her death. Her body was found in a Tesla registered to him. No suspects have been named. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
New Orleans never sleeps, and neither does WBOK. Now, every voice, every moment, and every show is in your pocket. Search WBOK Media wherever you get podcasts. Download, share, rate us 5 stars. Because when you support us, you amplify Black voices and the New Orleans culture.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Daryl Forges with WDSU News, and here's your headlines. The countdown is on until Mayor-elect Helena Moreno takes office, and right now she's mapping out her first steps. Wednesday, Moreno announced former Congressman Cedric Richmond, former Judge Desiree Charbonnet, Ochsner Executive Emily Arata, and businessman Ryan Berger will help her turn campaign promises into reality. The transition team will help recruit department heads and community members for issue-based communities focusing on infrastructure, economic development, and crime prevention. The New Orleans City Council will vote on a proposed ordinance involving reality television. It will ban the city from going into agreements supporting reality-based TV productions involving first responders while on duty. The council is also set to vote on an ordinance that would change the parade lineup for the Thursday before Mardi Gras. It would have the Nights of Chaos rolling at 4:30 p.m., followed by Babylon at 5:30 and Muses at 6. Budget hearings continue today at City Hall with several departments on the agenda. Those include public works, sanitation, and property management, among others. Now, this comes after the state auditor revealed yesterday that the city faces a $160 million deficit. The auditor says spending spiraled out of control this year and reserves are now nearly depleted. He says the budget crisis is mostly driven by overtime, especially in police, fire, EMS, and public works. And Derek Groves, the last inmate captured after the Orleans Parish jailbreak, pleads not guilty on charges of simple escape. Groves was arraigned virtually from Angola. He was captured in Atlanta last week after being on the run for 5 months. I'm Daryl Forges, and that's your headlines for WBOK. Have a great day.
Tired of the impersonal, one-size-fit-all style of banking? You deserve a bank that delivers exceptional service and personalized attention to your needs. That's the Home Bank Standard. Since 1908, Home Bank has been a trusted financial partner for businesses and families because we go the extra mile to help you reach your goals. See for yourself why Home Bank is good for business, good for life. Stop by any New Orleans area location or find out more at home24bank.com. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Are you passionate about community safety and police accountability? Tune in to The Monitor's Mic, where we talk about oversight, policing, and you. Hosted by the Office of Independent Police Monitor, we're here to shine a light on policing issues that matter, from real-time policing updates to in-depth interviews. Get the facts and stay informed. We're breaking down complex issues, highlighting community voices, and holding people behind the badge accountable. Join us for an informative hour every Friday at noon on WBOK. Your city, your police, your show. The Monitor's Mic.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
WBOK 1230. My name is Will Sutton. I'm here with Chief Eddie Compass. There might be a few stragglers out there getting kids off, or daycare hours are different than school hours. So when they're driving around, what do we want them to do?
Be very careful and watch out for the kids.
All right, watch out for the kids. Watch those babies, guys. And we're going to jump into conversation with our representatives and friends from the Southern University at New Orleans. I told you we had a surprise guest who's in the house. She's back.
She's back.
She's back. Dr. Ashanta Wyatt.
Hey, y'all.
Vice Chancellor at Southern University. Vice Chancellor.
God is amazing.
So if you wondering why she's not here, Vice Chancellor at SUNO. That's why.
Yes. I'm glad to be back, though. It's kind of like coming home. Homecoming.
Right. Well, we're going to focus on homecoming today. I was looking at the events and activities. What a lineup. Yes. What a powerful lineup. We're going to be talking with Dr. Ashanta Wyatt. We're going to talk to Queen Amani Jones, the 66th Miss SUNO.
Amani Jenkins.
Amani Jenkins. And we're going to talk with Wanda Crawford, the alumni president, and Darren Smith, Director of Marketing and Communications. So let's jump right into it. First of all, how things at Southern. We got brand new leadership. Dr. Joe Bowie in gear and doing things and making things happen.
Yeah, well, listen, I would like to think that we have the best chancellor in the entire region, if you ask me.
And I would agree with that.
So shout out to our 10th chancellor, Senator Dr. Joseph Bowie. I believe that he is a visionary leader, and I think under his leadership, Southern University at New Orleans is going places, and I'm glad to be a part.
Wonderful woman. So, Ms. Jenkins, Queen, let's talk about homecoming. Homecoming is a big deal at SUNO.
Yes, it is. It's when we get all of our alumni and family and friends to come back on campus, one of the biggest celebrations at SUNO.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. And Ms. Crawford, there's quite a lineup of activities and events. And having gone to some SUNO homecoming activities, if you didn't go to SUNO, come on out, right?
Yes.
You know, so what would you have coming up?
So we have a lineup of things, and I'm gonna let Amaya start first.
Oh, okay.
She has the full lineup as starting from Sunday.
All right.
Starting from Sunday.
All right.
So I'm gonna let Amaya take
Ms.
it, and then I'll
Suno.
talk about what the alumni is doing on our end.
So homecoming starts October 19th to the 25th. Sunday we start with service, church service being held at my church, Household of Faith Church, on I-10 Service Road, and then we have another service at 2 p.m. on campus, hosted by the Collegiate Black and Christian organization on campus in the Millie M. Charles Auditorium. Monday, we have a Taste of New Orleans, so we're going to bring foods and things like that to welcome the beginning of homecoming. Tuesday, we have a taco day, health and wellness fair, and a fashion show put on by our fashion club on campus. And then after, we also have a night breakfast. So midnight breakfast, everyone.
Oh boy.
Comes eat, all that good things.
Those are fun.
My favorite part, Wednesday, is Coronation Day.
All right.
Yes. So Coronation is at 6 p.m. in the castle. That's our gym. And I hope to see everyone there. Attire is all black formal attire. Please be on time.
Yeah. All right.
Yes, Thursday we have the Greek Step Show. And then Friday is our Night Fest concert with a long lineup.
Yeah.
And Saturday is homecoming day, the parade, the tailgate, the game. That's the big day. Everyone come out. Bring your family, bring your friends, bring your kids, bring your cousin, everyone.
All right.
I think it's important for you to also tell them who's reigning as the Grand Marshal.
Yes, our Grand Marshal for the parade is our 10th Chancellor, Senator Dr. Joseph
All
Bowie.
right. All right. Another big title.
Yes.
Big weekend for him. So he'll be all up in it. Not much rest for him that weekend. All right. So what's the alumni doing?
Well, the alumni is joining in with homecoming. The alumni is joining in with the homecoming, but the alumni also have some special things that we're doing as well. We're having our alumni virtual event because we have alumni all across the country. So we figured that the best way to reach out to everyone and get them engaged and involved is to do a virtual event. So we'll be doing that on Thursday at 6 o'clock. So if we have any alumni that's listening that want to participate, just send us an email to sunoaa1959@gmail.com, and we'll send them the link to where they could join in on Thursday night at 6 o'clock.
That's great.
We're also sponsoring the tailgate for the campus as a whole. That's something we've been doing for the past couple of years.
What day is that?
That's Saturday, October the 25th. So after the parade, there will be a tailgate in the choir. We call the choir, which is in front of the University Center in the cafeteria. So we'll be out there, with our tent, barbecuing, frying catfish, red beans and rice, and serving the food to the students and to the alumni and family and friends as well. That's something we have done, like I said, the last couple of years, and we want to continue to do that.
Great.
And we're also participating in. Yeah.
Some Suno folks are going to be tired out there.
and we're also participating in the parade as well. We're going to have a trolley in the parade, as well.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Mr. Smith, what are you looking forward to?
I am just looking forward to being a part of the Night Nation and enjoying this week. It's been a lot of work for our students, our alums. So being the person who kind of bridges all this together and bring them to do moments like this and putting out the press releases, it's exciting for me as well. Because I'm a creative, and so helping Imani bring her coordination to life is rooted in the New Orleans culture. Because I'm a native of Baton Rouge, but being here, I've become adopted. So just bringing her vision to life as well as the vision of the alums is just what I'm super excited about.
Well, we have blood family, but isn't it wonderful when we have family who decide we choose you?
Yes. And trust me, Suno has embraced me with open arms since I've been there. So I'm enjoying it.
Well, that's Suno. So there are a number of events that are happening across the week, but some of those things are campus events, right? And some of them are public events, and some of them are ticketed events. Which of the events that the general public might be interested in, and how can they find out more about that?
So the ticketed events will be the Step Show on Thursday and then the concert on Friday. they can head to www.suno.edu, and we have a huge banner on the website.
That's why he's the director of marketing and communications. Yes, but I need to step in because as the vice chancellor of enrollment management to success, I would be remiss if I did not share that we are getting ready to, under the leadership of our vice chancellor of academic affairs, Dr. Bree Cook, open up our weekend and evening courses, and that lends itself to the good news that enrollment is up 4% at Southern University at New Orleans, and we're
slow down, Dr. Wyatt.
Yes.
You know how you can be when you get excited.
Yes,
Just slow it down.
I'm just saying. So
in the back heard the increase.
So for the people in the back, under the leadership of Senator Dr. Joseph Bowie, Southern University at New Orleans has seen a 4% increase in enrollments, and we expect that number to continue to climb as we talk about our weekend and evening courses that we're offering under the leadership of Dr. Bree Cook, who heads our academic affairs. And so we've talked all about the nice fun stuff, but the business is the business, and we are trying to grow that university. And I believe that under the visionary leadership of our new chancellor, SUNO is on the move. So I hope that anyone within the earshot of this radio station, you come to 6400 Press Drive where champions rise.
All right. So for the campus events, if there's somebody who says, well, I never went to Southern, I didn't go, I don't have a degree from SUNO, but I really like going over there. Is it okay for them to come, or is that really for the students for that part?
Southern University at New Orleans is a community school. It is in the heart of New Orleans. We welcome everyone because any potential person is a potential student. Yeah. And so we will welcome everyone to come. You may come to our festivities and realize that SUNO is the place for you. So I believe as the Vice Chancellor of Enrollment, we want everyone, including you, Will Sutton. You might decide to come back and take a course or two. You too, Chief, like we want them all. So relatives, friends, people visiting from out of town, if you're here the week of October 19th to the 25th, we want you at 6400 Press Drive.
Okay. All right. So for those who haven't been around SUNO homecoming before, do not expect to drive on night.
6400 SUNO Nice Drive.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Okay. Because there are going to be lots and lots of SUNO folks in and about. So please be safe. Plan on taking a detour because this is their time. This is their time. Otherwise, what I suggest is find a parking spot and join the fun.
Yes, definitely.
You'll have the last word.
Yes. We would love for everyone to come near and far, everywhere. All the events are open, mostly, and just join the fun. Let's all celebrate together.
Once more.
Yes, so for the SUNO's alumni that's out there listening, if you want to join in any of the festivities, just send us an email to sunoaa1959@gmail.com.
Wonderful. All right, so we got big SUNO homecoming coming up, and I don't know. I mean, it might be hard to choose if you have to pick and choose, but for those of you all who are going to be available to go to all of this, it's going to be a really, really good week.
I like how you say big SUNO, not the little one.
Right. Well, I know the step show's going to be great because the brothers from Cap Alpha Psi will be there showing up.
Something about those Greek people. Shout out to the exquisite greater women of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated.
Oh, don't forget them devastating divas of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
About those final women of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
And Darren is just me, Phi Me.
You heard her right. Darren's like, can I come? Can I come?
In the club, we all family.
I got my black card. All right. Well, thank you all for coming in today. Hope this was a wonderful surprise for those of you all who haven't heard from Dr. Wyatt in a while because she's doing a big job and off to an amazing start with an increase.
4%.
4%.
That's a bell.
Yeah, 4% increase. And that's let me just say that enrollment is so important to higher education institutions, because how many butts you have in the seat makes a difference for the professors who are teaching. If you got 3 people enrolled versus 13 versus 23, that is a huge difference. And SUNO has done a good job through the years of having something for everybody.
Yes.
And being a part of the community. So it's a good option to consider. And let's see those enrollment numbers rise one by one by one.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to the work of the folk who we ultimately found there and the folk who are invested in Southern University at New Orleans. And so I would love to give a shout out to our entire faculty and staff for doing the hard work of attracting and retaining our students, because it's not just the business of admissions and recruitment, it's the entire campus that cultivates an energy that forces people to take a look at SUNO. So shout out to the entire faculty, staff, and student body at 6400 SUNO Nice Drive.
All right, there we go. Nice Drive. Hey. Took a while. So, all right. Well, thank you all for coming in and being a part of the Good Morning Show. Looking forward to some tremendous activities with Homecoming. And you got the contact information. Check it out and figure out if you can go to all of it. They want you to come. And if you go to some of it, then pick your spots and choose your, it's not poison, choose your fun and go and support SUNO and look at the possibilities for taking a course or two or entire degree program at Southern University at New Orleans. All right, I got the message. Yes, I see. We're beyond break time. So thank you for staying, and thank you for staying a little longer with us on the Good Morning Show. Wish you much success with Homecoming and enrollment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us.
All right, you're listening to WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Visit DePaul's new Algiers Health Center at 2801 General de Gaulle Drive to receive primary and preventive care for both adults and children. Services also include behavioral health, imaging, and on-site pharmacy, vision, Medicaid enrollment assistance, and more. For appointments, visit DePaulCommunityHealthCenters.org or call 504-207-3060.
Saints of God, it's time for us to tell you the truth. It's time for you to start your 21-day challenge. Don't take another day. Do it right now. Call 504-701-4711. That's the Whole Water Store, Pastor David Impartian Sr., the host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. This is the water that's designed to change your body, the way you think, the way you act, and the way you look. Why don't you start your 21-day challenge today? For $35, you can start it right now. Call me so we can set up your appointment. 504-701-4711. That's 504-701-4711. Change your water, change your mind.
Making a difference in the community. WBOK 1230 AM.
Meet Leanna, a part-time chef and full-time mom. In the past, Leanna didn't have health insurance because she didn't think she could afford it. What she didn't realize is she qualified for Medicaid. She loves the coverage and peace of mind that comes with high-quality care. The kind of care you get with Healthy Blue. This is Medicaid, and it's for more people than you think. Maybe even you. To see if you qualify, go to myhealthybluela.com.
Hey y'all, make sure you tune in on Thursdays at 12:30 p.m. for The Roux with Chef Bunny, sponsored by Blue Plate Mayonnaise on WBOK 1230 a.m.
Wake up your taste buds at Inner City Brews and Bistro, home of the one-of-a-kind peach cobbler pancakes. Start your day with our soulful breakfast favorites. Then come back for bold cocktails and those oh-so-good Creole flavors that always hit just right. In the heart of Treme, every bite feels like home. Doors open at 8:30 a.m. and find us at 1401 St. Bernard Avenue. Inner City Brews and Bistros, uniquely New Orleans, deliciously unforgettable.
The National World War II Museum. Located in the Warehouse District of New Orleans, the National World War II Museum tells the story of America's experience in the war that changed the world, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. Visit them online at www.nationalww2museum.org for time tickets and safety information.
Love black culture and black business? Come home to Bayou Road for HomeFest 2025. October 17th and 18th on the 2400 and 2500 blocks of Bayou Road. Celebrate the history and legacy of Bayou Road and the soul of New Orleans. HomeFest is a free, family-friendly reunion. Get your body and life together. Get Up and Ride takes you on a spin with free massages and acupuncture, yoga, dance, and cancer screenings. Make art, not war, with action from Eternal Seeds, Xavier Art, KidSmart, and McKenna Museums. Captain Charles sails you into Friday night. Rock your Saturday with Tanya Boyd Cannon, DJ Battles and DJ Rockaway, Raj Smooth, DJ Legatron Prime, and DJ Jess. It's all happening Friday, October 17th from 5 to 9 p.m. Saturday, October 18th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Check out the schedule at homefestnola.com or follow us at homefestnola.
Fresh produce, local flavor, and a healthy you. New Orleans East Hospital is hosting a farmers market the last Wednesday of every month from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Join us in the parking lot across from the main entrance. Support local farmers and your wellness. We'll see you there.
Hey everybody, it's Kimber White Dupree.
And it's Graylin Brian Banks from the front porch. We're coming up next.
Good morning, Wake Up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
If you have to be there at 9. Woo, boy. I hope you're pulling in the parking lot and about to run in, or it's on the other side of the bed, or just in the other room. What a dynamic show we had today, Chief. Thank you, Reverend Calhoun, for calling in, and Reverend Wallace. We heard from our friends at Suno. Got quite a homecoming lineup coming along here. We heard from a bunch of folks from Bayou Road. They got a lot of good things going on over there, including Home Fest. Got a big Carrier Center Park opening on Friday at 5, and then the festival Home Fest is starting at 10 a.m. and it's all day, and they got Tanya Boyd Cannon later in the day. So 10 to 5 would be a good time to spend on Bayou Road. But if you want to see Tanya Boyd Cannon and some of the wonderful businesses and vendors, That'll be about 3 o'clock or thereabout. And, of course, we heard from our congressman, as we do most Thursdays. And he talked about what was happening at the U.S. Supreme Court yesterday with Voting Rights Act and yet another day of the government shutdown. So we're going to tell you more about Helena Moreno, the mayor-elect's transition moves tomorrow. I was at the news conference yesterday. We were having such a good time with our guests that I'm not going to have time to talk about that, but be aware that we're going to talk about it tomorrow for sure. Meanwhile, if you want to know about the new mayor's you want to get her updates and you want to know what jobs are going to be available, look at newdirectionnola.com. So thank you for coming back, Chief. I know, you got other places you can be, but we missed you when you were away for that detail or whatever you were doing, but good to have you back.
Glad to be back.
And folks, I hope you have a blessed and good day. We're going to make way for the front porch momentarily. WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about
all day long.